Breaking news as we find out that Binance and CZ have been helping governments set up their strategic Bitcoin reserve, directly competing with the United States. We're going to talk about what that means for the US, but also for the rest of the countries as well. Yesterday, crypto Twitter was up in arms. Why? Base launched a meme coin. It went to 15 million, dropped 92%, then launched another one. A lot of people upset, a lot of people saying it's not a big deal. We're going to have that fiery discussion today and why one team decided to quit building on Base after 3 months. Interesting. I was on a Spaces yesterday and the reactions were mixed, although a majority of people did not like what Jesse Pollock and the Base team did. We also are going to talk a little bit about AI and Gary Gensler. Now that he's not the SEC chair, he sure sounds like someone who is pro crypto and Bitcoin. We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content, where we take old, boring, well, stale information, we package that whole thing up in a fun, sexy way. We also throw price predictions at you. And wow.
Last chance.
Last chance. Well, we're over 85,000. I've been telling you. We're going to talk about pullbacks. I said,
There was a pullback. Literally yesterday, there was a pullback to 83.
To 80? That's not a pullback.
The price pulled back to a support level, Robin. That's a pullback. It could be a $50 pullback. It would be a pullback.
Bro. Not a pullback.
Anyways, we also have the lovely Ashley joining us. Ashley, how are you doing today?
Lovely. You guys are so nice to me.
You know, last week I dialed in. The week before I wasn't here, and you've done a tremendous job. Just wanted to say thank you.
I think I do your intro better than you.
You definitely do. Yeah, I almost let you do
Yes.
my intro today, but couldn't bring
why
myself
not?
to do it. Yeah.
Dang it.
We'll see if Robin decides to pimp Ashley out again today with some more super chats. You can never say no, right, Rob? Man. Anyways, we're gonna start.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
In a while.
What is it going to be this time?
Can she have a say at least?
No, you're just going to do it and hope I see it.
Does she get a say? Anyways, let's start with what I opened with. A lot of whiffs. Binance is advising multiple governments on strategic Bitcoin reserve. Okay. Binance CEO Richard Teng revealed that multiple governments seek the exchange's guidance on establishing strategic Bitcoin reserves and crafting digital asset policies following recent U.S. moves toward creating a national Bitcoin stockpile. While declining to name specific countries, he noted, meaning Richard Teng, that the United States is, quote, way ahead in developing strategic Bitcoin frameworks, which is interesting because what really has the U.S. done? They've signed an executive order saying the strategic Bitcoin reserve. I mean, have they really done anything else? They already had Bitcoin they were custodying, so they kind of have that in place for the most part, right? So, I don't know, interesting. So with the U.S. where it is now, it's still way ahead of a lot of other countries. To me, that kind of tells me that we are still super early, and you still have a chance to front run literally governments and countries. And so, which by the way, shout out to all the Patreon members yesterday. I revealed my portfolio to all of you, my top 10 holdings. And yeah, Bitcoin is my number one holding. That's what I was going to say, but I wasn't sure. But Robin, thoughts here on?
You're bullish on Bitcoin. Congratulations. Can I get a round of applause? There it is. Wow. It only took you 4 years of doing this show to admit you are bullish on Bitcoin. You have a big position on Bitcoin. Congrats, David.
Thank you very much.
Wow, this whole time I thought you were all in on Doja on Mars, but
I actually was for a second. And then we also had this kind of fits into the narrative, not necessarily Binance, because well, CZ is not part of Binance, but Pakistan has appointed CZ as a strategic advisor on crypto. And so you're seeing this narrative across the board, across the globe. And so Rob, this is pretty significant. What are your thoughts here? And what does this mean for you? Besides the obvious. Right?
Well, you know, we've been talking about it. And I won't go down this long echo chamber of like, U.S. is buying, but Here we go. The U.S. is going to buy Bitcoin, and other governments are going to follow. Is going to be essentially a trade war, I guess you could say, or an asset war, or
A space war, because
Space
Bitcoin
war.
moves between time and space.
Wow, dude! Wow,
Hell yeah, brother.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, why not? You know what? Here, how about that?
What is it? It's
I'm gonna bring it to Michael Saylor. Here
Thank
you go.
you very much, Rob.
21 truths of Bitcoin. Here we go. All right. So you got Bitcoin is an ideology. Bitcoin's a protocol. Bitcoin's an asset, a network, and immaculate, ethical commodity, digital security, digital gold, digital money, perfect money, legitimate, corporate, global, immortal, digital energy network.
Real quick.
Economic system, digital defense system,
Robin, real
and
quick.
emerging star system. Bitcoin is a star system. You know,
Listen,
I was going to say all 21 of those when you asked me how I felt about Bitcoin, and I just couldn't get it out of my mouth. Thank you, Sailor. I
Real quick,
appreciate you.
hold on. Couple things. One, you see ideology, protocol, asset, IPA. Is there a reason he put those two first? We know Michael Saylor now likes drinking IPAs. The second thing is, do you think he has a Bitcoin pillow that he cuddles with when he goes to bed?
My concern is, I mean, I'm here. Here's it. I mean, I just got to be real. I'm not trying to be funny. This is, and I'm not trying to be funny here. At the bottom here, you see this? The last one, and you know, he had to put the last one. Oh no, I'm sorry, my scrolling thing here. The last one is just it's a little strange, don't you think?
Yeah.
Bitcoin is an emerging star system. What the fuck are you talking about, Michael Saylor? Like, I mean, honestly, like.
You don't know the thermodynamics law. That's what it
Like,
is.
if the sun goes out, Bitcoin does not fix that. Like, I know Bitcoin fixes a lot of things, but it does not fix the sun. Like, come on now. It is not an emerging
At
star
least he said
system.
emerging. Okay. It's being built currently. The infrastructure is being built. All right.
I just,
Yeah. You know, okay, seriously though, you know, the obvious is, yeah, we all knew this was coming. I'm just like, Binance, interesting. You know, obviously they're the number one exchange in the world. And this just tells you when countries are going with a crypto exchange that was under fire at the SEC and was being sued, that they are still going with that company over normally, Robin, when you make significant changes to your financials or whatever, you would go to your leading bank, the leading asset managers. But they went to Binance. And the obvious thing is here is, yeah, well, they're a crypto company. They do Bitcoin. Well, that just tells me how far behind the banks and institutions are. And so obviously, you know, we're not going to sit here and hound on the obvious here. Yes, this is bullish. But guys, we are still early. I mean, just fucking, come on, computer, don't freeze on. There we go. You just read the sentence here, guys, okay? This sentence will tell you everything. If you're, the question is it too late to buy Bitcoin? Here is your answer. The United States is way ahead in developing strategic frameworks. All they literally did was sign an executive order saying we have a strategic reserve. That's it. And they're saying that is way early. And so the next time a friend asks you, or your mom asks you, or you ask yourself in the mirror, am I too late to buy Bitcoin? Just reread that one line in your head, and there's.
I don't even consider it like too late. Here's when I would use this as ammunition is when people say it's a scam or it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm like, well, the United States government is buying it. Like, and so if you come at me with this, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme. I was literally at the ATM the other day, and you know the ATM next door, you know, it was like one of those 2 ATM kind of room things.
Dual ATM.
Yes, yeah, it was the one where you know you had to like lock yourself in a glass prison. You know, it's not an actual bank, and they don't trust the things on the street.
Yeah, okay, got it.
So you got to like walk into a glass closet, and so I'm in this small room and then somebody else walks in, and then I was like, yeah, the other ATM ain't working. He's all like, this damn banking system. He's like, it's all going to shit, and I'm just like,
Is he a boomer?
yeah, he was a boomer. He had suspenders on too.
He was an ultra boomer.
Yeah, ultra boomer. And then so, anyways, I just like laughing.
You
like,
preached a good word.
and then I was like, hey, man, maybe it's time to buy Bitcoin. He was like, that thing's a Ponzi scheme. It's fake. And I was just like,
Did he have
okay.
a Keystone
but
Light
he
in his
did,
hand?
he did tell me to buy gold and silver, though. So, you know, he's not He's not too far gone. I'll say that. If he would have told me to buy a bond, I'd
You know, here's the thing too, and this is something we don't talk about enough. The amount of money these baby boomers have, it's in the tens of trillions of dollars. I think the number is 10,000 a day are retiring. I don't know how many thousand a day are dying. And that money is going to their kids and their grandkids. And guess what? As the generations age and new generations come up into money, stats prove they're more forward-looking when it comes to technology, especially when it comes to the money system. And so you're going to see a massive wealth transfer literally happening right now, but it's going to continue to happen over the next 5 to 20 years. Where is that money going to land? It's not going to be just in gold and silver like the gentleman Robin met at the weird ATM place where he had to, put his fingerprint in and go in. It's going to be that money. Sure, some might stay in there, but people are going to invest in new technology, and part of that new technology is Bitcoin and crypto. Rob, we talked about Jerome Powell, and there was questions. Can Trump fire Powell? Is he playing 5D chess to get Jerome Powell to lower rates? And you kept saying, listen, dude, I'll just come out at him and yell at him on social media. And well, Robin, you were proven right again. Rob Stradamus strikes again. This was posted by Trump, I think today. The European Central Bank is expected to cut interest rates for the 7th time, and yet too late Jerome Powell of the Fed, who is always too late and wrong, yesterday issued a report which was another and typical complete mess. Oil prices are down, groceries, even eggs, are down, and the USA is getting rich on tariffs. Too late should have lowered interest rates like the ECB long ago, but he should certainly lower them now. Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. You think this is going to hurt Jerome Powell's feelings enough, Robin, to where he steps down prior to his term coming to an end in 2026?
I will say this. If Donald Trump gets loud enough and angry enough and vocal enough about removing Jerome Powell, I think he can get him out. I know it's not under his direct power. He got Gary Gensler out, right? He said, I'm going to fire Gary Gensler day one, but he's out, like blah, blah, blah. Comes out. He couldn't fire Gary Gensler. Wasn't Gensler's term up anyways? Or he had 2 more years?
Yeah,
he had 2 more years.
Okay.
And then he resigned a week before Trump was inaugurated.
Yes.
So obviously there was a lot of external pressure for him to resign. There was a lot of vocal or outspoken narrative like, hey, you know what? We're changing what the SEC does. We're changing our view on crypto. Gary Gensler, we're going to fire him as soon as I get in there, even though you couldn't technically fire him. And then, lo and behold, he resigns. That's what happens at big companies. That's what happens at large organizations. That's what happens at governments, is that you force people to retire. And if you don't think that the president of the United States doesn't have some kind of leverage against the Fed or people around him, you're mistaken. There's plenty of power that goes back and forth. And if Donald Trump goes to the board members and says, I want Jerome Powell out, get him out. He has to retire. Otherwise, problems will arise. You know that they're going to force his ass to retire. Just like, hey, Harvard's like, okay, we're going to have our own ideology. We don't care about you. The president, we don't listen to politics. Cool, we'll cut your funding. Okay, well, we still won't listen. All right, well, now you're going to, they just kept going on. And at some point, it's not under his power to govern a private school or a public school like Harvard. But lo and behold, I did want to say, I'm not the only one that shares this thoughts. Here's an interesting one. So we got Elizabeth Warren.
Pocahontas.
So she said on CNBC, she said Trump should not be calling for lower rates, and she says, Trump should not be calling for Powell to lower rates and say he wants him fired. That's hurting the nature of democracy. This will ruin the stock market. So she's saying, don't influence Powell to lower rates. But then, lo and behold, only 8 months ago, you had Elizabeth Warren saying, we write in today to urge Federal Reserve Chair to cut federal funds rates, not by by 75 basis points at that. So she said 8 months ago when we were going up for re-election,
They're
when
all
the
hypocrites,
Democrats were trying to get a seat, Elizabeth Warren was like, "Hey, let's cut interest rates by 75%." That being or 75.
At least Trump didn't give a
basis
number,
points.
you know.
Yeah, and so
They're all
it's
hypocrites.
very, very interesting. You know, your enemy does something.
I'm happy you found that. That's good. You know, we brought up Gary Gensler a few times, and well, Rob, he's reemerged. And what if I told you this man sounds like a Bitcoin maxi? Would you believe? You kind of would. I think you kind of would.
Go ahead.
Okay. Watch this. It's 4 minutes long. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole thing. I will probably stop and laugh and talk about it, but listen to this and then ask yourself, was it really Gary Gensler doing what he wanted to do, or was he getting pressured from other people? Take a listen.
Hey, Gary, final question for you. As you probably watched, so many CEOs were doing almost victory laps in the crypto world as these enforcement cases were dropped by this current administration, of course, cases that you had brought. As you watched that, what did you think?
Look, I'm going to step back a little bit from any individual cases and just say this again to your viewing public. This is a very small part of the financial markets. But if you were interested in this, think about every financial asset sort of trades on a bit of fundamentals and sentiment. But this field is almost 99 or maybe one might say 100% sentiment and very little on fundamentals. And while something like Bitcoin may persist for a long time because there's 7 billion people around the globe, a real keen interest in it, there's 10 or 15,000 others of these tokens. And to think through your own risk, your own personal risk about where are the fundamentals. And if this is just about sentiment, then generally those don't end up well, and most then go down.
Are you talking your
What are your thoughts on that? I think he has. I can't believe I'm saying this. He has a point, right?
What, that everything outside of Bitcoin is shit?
No.
That's exactly what he just said.
A vast majority of
Get
stuff
outta
outside of
here,
Bitcoin
man.
is
He
shit.
just assaulted your industry, and made fun of everything that you stand for.
That's not
And
true.
you're just like, he has a point. Shame on you, David. Shame on you.
contrasting Bitcoin with the other ones, or they're all the same?
Joe, I'm glad that you spoke up because I know you're a bit of a Bitcoin enthusiast and think less well of the rest of those. It's how you and I have always connected in the green
Right.
rooms. But
Right.
think of these 10 or 15,000 other tokens, and just on the economics, just on the fundamentals, what are the fundamentals?
No, I know, but that was my
suggest
question.
that
You
they'll
throw
be there.
Bitcoin in with the rest of them, or do you think Bitcoin is different is qualitatively different than the others?
I think there's the distinction is similar to in metals. There's only 2 or 3 precious metals. We humans have a certain fascination with 2 or 3 precious metals like gold. I don't think we humans will have a fascination with 10 or 15,000 meme or sentiment tokens trading over the years.
Gary, I wanted to actually ask you something different, which is you're teaching AI now. And one of the things that seems to be happening in the marketplace is there's a lot of trading taking place as a function of AI, meaning literally AI.
Okay. Interesting.
How old is this guy?
Gary?
Yeah.
That's a good question. How old's Gary Gensler?
I don't know, because he looks like a Nightmare Before Christmas character.
Yeah. I want to say he's in his 60s.
He's like Voldemort, from
No,
from
the guy from Simpsons.
He looks like
Mr. Burns.
Mr.
Yes.
Burns. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what actually we've been making fun of him for that for the last 4 years. But just, always nice to check in on former employees, see how they're doing. Gary looks like he's doing great teaching AI. Sounds like maybe a little bit of a Bitcoin maxi now. So Gary, hopefully you'll come around on some of the other altcoins. Majority of them are crap and they have literally nothing to offer. But there's some really, really good ones. Anyways, it was very nice to see Gary. Now,
So I do want to just chime in here.
What do you want to try?
So Gary Gensler's thesis here is that Bitcoin is the truth. Everything else is a scam, right? And there's really nothing to it.
It's the lies.
And your point, you were, cheering on Gary Gensler, saying that
not
he
cheering him on.
You were.
I was saying
Yes,
he
you
kinda
did.
was the point, okay?
And so, I realized that, yeah, there's a lot of crypto projects that will go under. Majority of them will.
What percentage? Okay, no, seriously, what percentage do you think will go under?
99%.
Okay, that's what he's saying.
Okay, but but how is this an indictment on crypto? And the reason I say this is because the stock market first launched in 1700 something. I was 1792. 1792 is when the New York Stock Exchange opened up for business. How many companies do you think is still around from the 1800s?
Coca-Cola,
You
JP
think?
Morgan.
Yeah, there's probably like 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. If you want to be generous, maybe 20. But outside of that, every single company that was listed in the early days of the stock market has essentially went bankrupt, been bought out, been acquired by someone else, exploded, rug pulled, who the hell knows? And so in an early market, there are tons of losers that have no staying power. And this is obvious. And this is how can you make a case that this is any different in crypto? Maybe Bitcoin is like the S&P 500. You know what I mean? Something is not going to go away. I obviously know that Bitcoin probably has the staying power, and unless something changes, something gets voted on, and miners change something with the code, as it stands right now, Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. Now, the altcoins, who knows? But just like the early days in the stock market, there's going to be plenty of companies that aren't around in 100 years. Same could be said for crypto. And so
That's a good point, I
Yeah.
think. That's a good point. Okay, so then the question then becomes, how do you try to, obviously you can't tell the future, right? Anything can happen. So we're not going to sit here and tell you, we know this one will definitely stay around the next 30 years. So what are some things that you
there
look at?
are signs. There are signs. Pay attention, people. It wasn't like Blockbuster went out of business and everyone was like, I didn't see that coming. But it wasn't like someone just all of a sudden canceled their newspaper subscription and was like, honey, have you seen the internet? This thing's pretty cool. Like, it was signs. It was writing on the wall. People knew it was coming. It was obvious and blatant had you have not listened to your arrogant and stupid ways. If you were sitting here like, I really love my newspaper. I love unfolding this thing and I love the comics in the back. I will never, get over yourself. Look around and say, okay, these people ain't reading the newspaper no more. These people ain't walking around to Blockbuster. There's this box outside my 7-Eleven. I can just rent it from there. Or they're just mailing to my house. It's obvious.
So then what are the signs, man, of crypto?
We talk about it all the time. The lack of community, the lack of building, the lack of just sheer speculation alone, cringy ass marketing. Also, here's the thing: if you're on only a roadmap that doesn't build anything, that's a great sign right there. If you have horrific tokenomics, that's a good sign. If you got a bunch of people dancing, if you have a bunch of people dancing on stage in unicorn costumes, that's a good sign that it's a scam.
Another good sign is, now I forgot because you never let me talk. Damn it, I had a good one too. That was actually going to be a good one. I think it would have gotten a round of applause from Rocco. Okay, so fair. You look around, you say, where is the masses going? So Robin, you look around and if you can say, where are the masses going in crypto? What is the one thing that is next up in line in legislation that everyone points to and says, this makes so much sense for crypto? Stablecoin.
No,
correct?
This right here. Charles Hoskinson, Indian style, smoking a cigar in India. That is a sign of prosperity, success. What? You said what do I look for? you need a leader, man. I believe, has everything going for him.
Anyways, majority of people who don't have 16 brain cells missing in their brain every single day would say, hey, stablecoin and payments, right? Blockchain can facilitate faster cross-border. Great. Well, I have some numbers for you, ETH hater. You ready for this? You ready to accept this with an open mind? I'll take that as a yes. Bitwise, something huge happened in 2024, and very few people are talking about it. For the first time ever, stablecoins outpaced Visa in volume. And Robin, guess where a majority of those stablecoins settled? Say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say it.
ETH, sure.
But guess what percentage, Robin?
I'm not
Guess
saying,
what? Guess the
I'm not saying that ETH doesn't
Just
have
guess the
a
percentage, bro.
dominant
It's
a
a
dominance
simple
on
question,
the,
my friend. Guess the percentage.
Okay. I'm still gonna always go back to
I just want a number. That's
I
it.
don't know. I don't know. Is that what you want to know? I don't know
No,
the percentage.
I want you to
I'm sure it's
guess.
in the 80 plus percentile.
Okay,
right?
great. It's actually 95% of $27.6 trillion in stablecoin value that was moved was settled. Of course. Of course.
97% of the stable coins lies in this man's network. My boy Vitalik. If you don't believe,
All in. That's it. No more bets.
Yeah. I just can't with you.
here's the thing, man. Just because you got market share now does not mean you will have market share through the future if you do not continue to build. It is just the reality of it. You know what? BlackBerry was a king at one point. You could have said, look, man, 90% of people have BlackBerries. And you could have been like, people like their buttons. They ain't going to go for no screen without buttons. That just don't make sense. People like clicking buttons. It's tactical. You got the feel of the button. You got a whole keyboard here. What do you want just a screen, man? That don't make sense. You know what? People love rewinding movies and walking through Blockbuster. It's very nostalgic. You go on a date, you walk into Blockbuster, you say, babe, let's go to the new release section. How about we go to the horror section? And you find all these amazing movies out there. Tell yourself what you want, man. You know what? Ethereum right now?
What are you talking about? You know what I feel like? That PBD podcast, he's got a guy named Adam Sosnick. And every time Adam talks,
Don't you compare me to
PBD
nobody.
is like, what are you
I am
saying?
a unique. I'm an
That is
individual
me.
man.
I'm PBD, you're Adam. What are you even talking about?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Do you know what you're talking about?
I don't know exactly what I'm talking
Blockbuster.
about.
Jesus.
Did you hit your head this morning?
Seriously, bro.
No, what?
Like, did you fall out of bed? Are you
No.
okay?
Well,
we
hey,
got
look,
we got a super chat.
look, you can not only get your crypto info, but also you can get your laugh as well.
So ES said, make Muhammad great again.
ES is definitely Mohammed's burner account, 100%.
And then, I think
BitCats,
Crickets also.
BitConnect.
BitConnect.
Oh my God.
Is exactly.
What a
It's not
disaster that
BitConnect. It's BitConnect. Yeah.
A freaking disaster. Okay. Anyways, can we get back to the actual news here? Okay. Back to this article here. Christ, can you not interrupt me with dumb songs and dancing? Stablecoins processed 27.6 trillion in 2024, surpassing Visa with 95% settled on Ethereum, officially exceeding Visa's total payment volume and edging out MasterCard by 7.7%. Obviously, the headline here is 95% on ETH. Now, there are some L2s, some ETH ecosystem, Arbitrum, Base, right? But at the end of the day, ETH has an absolute chokehold on the stablecoin play. It's got an absolute chokehold on the RWA plays. So tell me again why you are punting on Ethereum. I don't know. I'm not saying go throw all your money in there. And sure, there will be some.
That's why I'm punting, baby.
I quit.
You said answer me again why I'm punting. Like,
I'm not talking anymore. You take over the show. Go ahead.
rise up and buy Ethereum. Let's go.
It's okay.
Go ahead, it's your show,
Don't be
man.
mad. It's okay.
You're good. Go ahead. What's up? Ashley, how
it's
are
your
you?
show now. There you go. Yeah. Come on, Robin.
Did you hit your head this morning?
You asked me what.
Again. It just started. Again.
What is this show content? 4 years and $250,000 later. This is what we do.
Can you stand up and do the
Hey, babe, how was your show today? Oh, so good. We inform people about dancing and weird blackberries.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing. If anybody else in the TradFi world would do some dumb shit like that, like
Jerome Powell.
When you say here's the thing, we never get to the thing.
well, yeah, there's a thing there. Yeah, there's plenty of things.
She's got a good point. What's the
So
thing, Robin?
What's the thing?
I was saying that if someone in TradFi was doing that, let's say Larry Fink was on stage doing some dumbass dance like that, and then you were telling me how great BlackRock is, I couldn't get that image out of my head, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. I don't know what to tell you, dude. If you're gonna be a leader, you gotta act like a leader and be self-composed, and you're gonna act like especially, you're talking about money, man. You want somebody that's like reliable. Like you don't want to go with a bank. Like, would you ever open up a bank account if like in front they had, like they were selling hot dogs and they had like a guy out front with a shaker board on the street talk about open up a checking account here. And then there was like music bumping. They had a DJ up in there, people with blue hair running around everywhere. I wouldn't open up a bank account there, man. Not in the slightest. Absolutely not. You know what? I want that polished, somebody with a suit, somebody walk in, like, Mr. Klein. Yes, sir. How you doing? Let's talk about my retirement.
We need a drug.
And so I'm just saying that for certain financial instruments, you want people that are buttoned up and professional. That's all I'm saying, because I got my life savings in this place.
Yeah, he's right.
I mean, am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Am I
Right.
making any sense, Rocco?
Yeah, you need to have a sense of, confidence and security in
He's
there.
been drinking.
Yeah.
Man is drunk.
Yeah.
Robin, stand up and walk on a straight line.
Good.
Okay.
Go to the-
I'm too afraid to even ask, but Rob, can we take a look at the markets?
Yeah. So you got Bitcoin. Nice movement on Bitcoin today. So you look on the 24 hours, you can see that we have broken above 85,000. We were testing it or right at the 85 mark a couple times today, broke over and above, and now we're trading above 85K. This is a couple times we've been here this week, though, on the 12th and on the 15th. So about 3 days ago, we were above 85,000. Now I always say, so go up, test, come back, go up, test again, come back. And well, third time sometimes is a charm. So expecting a big breakout there. I'm telling you, big breakout is coming. Big breakout is coming. Taking a look at the biggest gainers, Render. I was yesterday we talked about our favorite alts. And
Look at the top
both
three.
both of us.
You said Akash.
Yeah. Both of us did mention AI. You mentioned BitTensor. I said Akash. Akash out of the top 100. We'll take a peek at that in a second.
It was out of the top 100.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was out of the top 100, but we'll take a peek. This is the top 100 gainers. And so top 3, Render. You also got ASI and BitTensor. So going down the list, I mean, Solana's performing pretty well. I was taking a look at Solana, and Solana looks like it's primed for a breakout, which, you know what? If Bitcoin is simply hanging around 85,000, hasn't had the big move, this is telling me you got solid fundamental projects rallying right now. Yeah, sure, it's not anything too dramatic, but I mean, 12%, 11%, and 8% on the top 3 AIs. And then Solana and Hedera, solid projects, Near Protocol, AAVE, Helium. And so you know what? There's a lot going on here. I smell an altcoin super candle coming up, and that is all dependent on Bitcoin breaking out. So if we see that $90,000+ Bitcoin, I think that Solana and some of these other projects are going to have some massive gains. If we take a look outside the top 100, I know yesterday we mentioned Akash, and then let's see here. I would bet to think that the AI industry is just rallying. Where is Akash? Oh, there it is. Akash is pretty flat. So maybe now's still a time to get in Akash. Other AI plays are rallying. I haven't taken a peek at this today, but usually if a whole sector rallies, other ones that haven't rallied will catch up. So still pretty bullish on that one. And then getting back into some of the projects that are down today, I didn't really see much down. Just Mantra and everything else is right around 2%. So pretty flat on the red today, outside of Mantra, who is still bleeding off. And
Are you opposed to getting some exposure to Mantra?
No, I told you it's on a downward trend, and so no, there's not going to be any heavy investment, right? Okay, who invested in Mantra in the first place?
VCs, institutions.
Yeah. Do you think that VCs and institutions are going to be like, this is a great project to buy? I just don't think so. I think that if people are going to take a high risk play on something that has collapsed by 90%, it's going to be someone that, well, is probably in Vegas, that, hangs out at places. Anyways, people that take a lot of risk. You know what? Venture capital ain't going to jump in on this at this point. And also, the reason venture capital has such big exposure is because they were getting early allocation. So the early allocation is gone. Here, so venture capital is not going to come in, buy more
Well, the
at
unlocks
current prices.
the unlocks haven't happened yet.
But what I'm saying is that who's going to come in and buy the token? It's either going to be retail or nobody, right? Now, big business, venture capital will buy, but it'll be in certain rounds, right? It'll be an early allocation or some kind of funding round where they discount. Mantra's not going to do that anytime soon. And so I've never heard of anybody with retail interested in Mantra. I don't think they're going to come around now. And so for me, it's going down further. And so I don't like buying projects that are on a downward. I don't. I know that you can sit here and say, well, could have got a swing trade, but I'm just, it's a bad idea, man. We're in a bull market. Everything's in an upswing. There's plenty of tokens you can nail and make money on right now. Plenty of them. We talked about Caspa like 2 weeks ago at 5 cents. It's at 8 cents.
Listen,
Like, guys, listen, that's like a 60% run.
what'd you say about the altcoins?
They're about to pop off, man.
I think you might be right on par, my friend. And I don't know if you looked at this chart before you made that proclamation, but the chart agrees with you. This is the total three, okay? Everything excluding Bitcoin and ETH. Breakout. This is a falling wedge going back to December of last year. Clean breakout, clean retest, and we're on our first green candle after the retest. Also, though, on Market Cipher B, a very, very reliable strategy. That is your anchor wave. That little nub is your trigger wave. And using this anchor trigger wave kind of trading, I don't know what you call it, strategy, very, very high likelihood of breaking to the upside. And that is what we got on a long time frame.
And what you'll see if altcoins break out is in history. I don't know if you guys are new to
But you'll be happy
crypto.
to hear this. This doesn't include Ethereum, though.
Oh, nice. No, if you guys are new to crypto, you haven't been around for a few cycles, or this is what happens. Bitcoin rallies. It'll break a new all-time high. Let's just say Bitcoin gets to that 100K again. It's going to rally. What'll end up happening is it'll consolidate after it reaches its price zone. And then the altcoins, the big alts, the solid projects will rally too. Now, there'll be a couple speculative plays in there, right? But just like we saw before, Bitcoin rallied 100K. What'd we see? $1.30 on Cardano. We saw $3 XRP. We saw Stellar Lumas explode, Hedera. Not everyone won, but there was a lot of big projects, a lot of the good fundamental projects, killed it, crushed it. You had a couple little speculative ones in there, but majority of the gains, majority of the market cap was made by the big alts. Then after that, we saw the meme coin mania happen. Solana sold off, Cardano sold off, XRP pulled back a little bit, and then the more speculative plays really crushed it. The same is going to happen here again. Don't kid yourself. We're about to see this breakout in Bitcoin.
But I believe it's going to be more concentrated.
It's going to be the same shit.
It's
Bitcoin's going to break out.
No.
Bitcoin going to get at 100K, 120K,
and then
put in an all-time high.
And then the large
it'll
caps.
Consolidate. Large caps, then speculative.
But I'm saying fewer of large caps will run. Fewer of speculative will run.
No,
not more of a broad.
It'll be the same as before.
I don't think it's going to be that.
No, like what just happened?
No, I agree with the order of operations. I'm just saying,
what I'm saying,
it'll be more.
what
The
just
liquidity will
happened?
be more concentrated.
But what just happened with
You rambled. But
no? What just happened with Bitcoin when it broke all-time highs? Was it all the layer ones popped off? No, ICP was left out. Near
ICP,
protocol was left out.
Near had a run before.
Before all-time high, way before all-time highs. The Bitcoin all-time high, we did see ICP rally. We saw everything rally, but not to the level of the few that I listed. There were a lot of clear-cut winners, and there were a lot of ones that fell apart, right? I mean, we Polkadot fell further. Uniswap isn't doing well. Pepe.
Listen, to be fair to
Near,
Polkadot, they had a really big project on their plate. They were trying to find a way to spend $400,000. They did it with the logo on Coinbase.
So what I'm saying is that most of these layer ones didn't rally here. If you look into the top 100, a lot of them lost market cap, and it wasn't like all the alts. It wasn't this Bitcoin raises all tide and raises all boats. Like that did not happen the last time we set a new all-time high. There was select winners. And I think the same thing's going to happen again, dude.
Before I ask this question, I just want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by Stake and Stake.us. We did a video covering the Stake platform. It's posted on our channel today. I'm going to announce a giveaway at the end of the show, so make sure to stay tuned. But Stake has been a channel partner now for almost an entire month. They've been extremely supportive. So all we ask is support the people that support us, that allow us to come here and joke and laugh and give you all the news you need. Also, you get daily bonuses if you sign up with our link. The link is in the description of the video. Go have some fun. Win some Stake cash and then redeem that sucker for crypto. It's going to be, it'll be fun.
Do us a favor. Just download the damn thing and sign up, man. We like Stake. They pay us. We build stuff with the money they give us. We like the company. We use it. He plays Plinko. It's cool. Go try it out, okay? Just download the damn thing. We're not telling you to stay on there, but just try it out.
My wife hit a 12x on a Plinko yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
You're about to lose all your crypto.
Yeah. It's not true. So I guess then my question is, okay, I think we're on the same page, but maybe on the back end now. I agree it's going to go the same order of operations. But I also think instead of 50 large caps getting money, maybe 20 will
So
get
you think 50 large caps made money last time?
That's just a number, bro.
So you think I'm just genuinely curious. So do you think that there will be less large cap altcoins that have big green candles than we did in just a few short months ago when Bitcoin broke all-time highs?
Here's what I think. Let's say,
because the alts didn't perform that well. It was actually quite underwhelming. So you think it's going to be even more underwhelming than that?
let's say $10 billion flows into large caps. Instead of 10 billion going into 50 projects, I think 10 billion will go into 20 projects. So it'll be more concentrated.
But that's exactly my point. I'm just surprised because I thought that majority of the altcoins, the ones that we were very bullish on, got left out. And I thought that you only saw a couple winners last all-time high.
That's kind of to my point, right?
Yeah, so I just think it's going to be on par with this. I thought it was going to be on par with the same amount of projects. I don't think that it's going to be a lot less. And if anything, I think it might be more. I'll
Okay,
be honest
so-
with you, because
So here's the disconnect in our conversation. You're talking about last year, this cycle. I'm talking
no,
about
I'm not
the
talking
previous-
about last year. I'm talking about like
3 months
literally
ago.
like when we broke an all-time high.
Okay, so you're talking about this cycle. I'm talking
No, I'm
comparative.
not. Nothing to do with 2021.
Okay, that's my
Yeah,
reference
that's what
point.
I'm saying. Like what I'm saying is that like 3 months ago.
Yes, the trend, what we saw from 3 months ago, I think will continue.
Yes.
It'll be very
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
concentrated in specific.
And what I'm
sectors.
saying is that 3 months ago, it was already underwhelming. I was like, wow. I'm like, I thought the alts were going to crush it. Only, like XRP, Cardano, like Hedera. There's only a handful of projects that did well.
Yeah.
And then I was, there was mediocre performance out of other ones, but Bitcoin really outperformed majority of the altcoins. The ones, especially the ones that I was bullish on. Bitcoin outperformed ICP. Bitcoin outperformed Near Protocol. Bitcoin outperformed
Everything.
Ethereum. No, it didn't. It did not outperform Stellar Lumens. It did not outperform XRP. It did not outperform Cardano. It did not outperform. The list goes on and on. But what I'm saying is that the list that outperformed Bitcoin was short and concise.
Did you say smart?
Yeah, I did say smart. I don't know. I don't even know what is that. Anyways, short and concise. And so I think we're going to see that again. But I think the ones that we're smelling now, the ones that are breaking out, those are the ones that I think are telling you, like, hey, this is going to have very strong performance.
Pretty sure ETH's breaking out.
No. You know what? Like, I really like Render or ASI and BitTensor. AI is far from done.
Now since we're on AI, Robin.
Yep.
Look at this. Also, shout out to RustyBot. 20 Nokia phone said, David, steak bicep tattoo when? I don't sell my solar body for a little bit of money, my friend. Okay. Venture capital concentration hits new high as AI startups absorb $73 billion. 60%, Robin, of global VC money in Q1 went to AI. I have been pounding on this fucking narrative for the last 6 months. When everything went down, I said AI will continue. There's so much going on every single week. It's like something new. It's getting to the point where not everything is being reported or amplified because it's like, doesn't trump what we saw last week, even though it was still a big thing. There's countries and companies are literally pouring every resource and dollar and currency amount into making sure they have a seat at the AI table. And we're in the crypto space, and some of that will trickle into cryptocurrency, my friends. And so BitTensor, Render, Akash, you name it, these projects will have runs and rallies, and you don't want to be left out. You really don't. We got to talk about this. Did you see what Base did?
Yeah. I don't know the details, but I got the gist of it.
I got the deets, man.
Go ahead.
I got the deets. So yesterday, Jesse Pollock, who was, I don't even know if he's the head at Base L2, but either way, he's a big voice. He posted something about you got to coin everything. And then Base, the actual handle, said basis for everyone. And then they said coined it and put a link to a meme coin. Okay. It rallied to 15 million. Then it had a complete drop off. Everyone was up in arms. Oh my God, what is going on? And then they launched another one on Zora. And now everyone's up in arms. What the hell's going on? Do they rug? Oh my God, 21% of the supply is in this wallet and Coinbase holds 10%, but they came out and said, we're never selling that 10%. Now, to be fair, the basis for everyone coin is actually up now from its low of you see here. It's up 4,200%. So it's 42x. I'm not saying go buy it. I don't have any. I didn't buy any. I am not touching new meme coins. I don't care who's behind it. If it's well, we already have the president of the United States. But either way, a lot of people were like, what the hell are you doing? And Base and Jesse Pollock are out here defending themselves saying, we're just tokenizing everything. This is what we talked about, right, guys? You can tokenize your cat. You can tokenize the chair Ashley's sitting in. You can tokenize whatever you want. And then Coinbase is trying to lead that charge. And then Jesse Pollock got on a Spaces yesterday, and he was answering questions, trying to calm people down. And this is a clip from part of that. It's about a 1 minute, 50-second clip. And this is someone who was building in the base ecosystem and his thoughts on what everything that transpired.
What happened was they launched a second coin, bro. And that's what's so ridiculous about all this. And what no one said is like, Jesse, like I've been building on base. Sorry to interrupt you, Nico. I'm just going to build on top of what you said. So hopefully that's fine because I want to say this before Jesse leaves. Jesse, I've been building an AI infrastructure play for about 3 months. I've been working with a lot of the base team, like partnerships guys and everything. It's been a great experience. But we just cut our partnership just now after this, left the group chats. It basically just feels like 3 months of wasted time because how can we feel safe or want to build on a chain that is so naive to do something as stupid as you guys just did? I mean, you have to understand, like, launching a coin like this with no context, just, oh, it's coin, boom, tweet, no context, and then you reply to it, and there's all this engagement. It's thinking, like, regardless of how much money I'm personally down on it, it's not even why I'm up here. It's more so like, how did you guys not think like this would happen? Like, you waited an hour to then do the Farcaster one. Like, it just seems so naive. Like, and from Coinbase team especially, it's like, how could you guys be so naive with that? And I haven't really heard you take any accountability for that, which WPR training, but like, it's really ridiculous. And like, I'm more blown about the fact that I wasted 3 months trying to build on this chain, and now there's just no trust. Like, how can anyone trust a team that is so naive to do something like this? I mean, you guys just vaporized $15 million at least.
Well, hey Adam, thanks for sharing, and thanks for building on base.
Well, not anymore. That's the point.
We're excited about continuing to build with you, but also if you say, hey, I want to go build somewhere
Jesse,
else,
are you even listening to him? It's not naive. It's negative.
You know what, man? Like, F the dude Brooks, bro. Like, get out of here, man. The dude's got a picture of a lizard as his profile picture, talking about
Brooks?
high. What's his name?
Oh, the guy who was talking?
Yeah,
Adam,
like
Adam. It's the spaceship guy. This guy right here. This guy was the one that's talking.
Oh, was it Adam?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Like, here's the thing. Like, you got some cartoon looking profile picture talking about you're all high and mighty. You launched a meme coin. I'm building on, but where are you gonna go build at? What project doesn't have any kind of scams on it? What project doesn't have a meme coin on it? You tell me. You want to go build somewhere? Go build on Microsoft Edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, go build somewhere outside of crypto. Because you got a damn profile picture of a cartoon character, astronaut, whatever the hell it is. And you know what? Like, you're sitting here talking about, I can't believe you launched a meme coin. Like, get out of here, man. It is 2025. This is the world we live in. This is crypto, baby. Like, get over it. Don't sign up for Cinemax if you don't want to turn on the TV late at night and see some boobies, you know? It's part of the game. You know, during the daytime, you get all the good stuff, you know, the good movies, and then you get Skinemax at night. It's just part of the game. Don't be mad at the product. And you know what? There's a good product here. It's base. And so what? They also play around in the depths of the
You know, this is what I said on the Mario Nafal Spaces yesterday about this topic. I said, look, how can anyone be surprised or upset when the president of the United States launched a meme coin? Is anything going to surprise?
Is it a big deal? I'm just asking. Is it a big deal?
I think.
Like, do you think that there's some ethical line that got crossed? And oh my God, I can't believe. Like, I personally don't care about launching a meme coin, but if someone else does, cool. I'm not gonna like crucify or out here and try to shame somebody and be like, your business model is so horrific because you played around with meme coins. I could care less. And if somebody bought meme coins and got burned, good. Learn a lesson. That's part of finance, bro. Don't buy a meme coin if you don't expect it to go to zero. I don't care who launches it. If it's a president, it's Coinbase. If it's my mama, I don't care who it is.
Don't you bring your mom into this.
If you launch a
lady.
meme coin, best believe it can go to zero. It doesn't matter who launched it. And you know what? And if you think that all of a sudden, well, it's Coinbase, they're gonna be safe.
No one is above the president of the United States.
Just stop
Listen,
it, guys.
I think
like people are such babies, bro.
Look,
They're such babies, bro.
I agree.
Meme coins are cool, man. Let it happen.
No.
You buy them and lose money. It's your own damn fault. Don't go over here beating the drum. I'm gonna go build somewhere else. I've been building a project for 3 months. Yo, nobody was gonna buy your stupid ass project anyways. I mean, honestly, You think this man's
Going
business?
too
You think
far.
Coinbase was
Oh,
like,
come on.
God,
You want to build something?
damn
What are
it.
you gonna do?
He's like, we lost the 3-month project that was building on here with the spaceship guy profile picture. And now we got to shut this whole thing down. Let's set up shop in Hong Kong. Like everything is effed. Nobody gives a damn. That's why, lo and behold, that dude, Jesse Pollock, whatever his name is, that's why he was all like, thanks for building on base. Cool. If you want to come back, holler at me. They're like, did you hear him? Nobody heard him. He's irrelevant. That's why I didn't hear him. Nobody gives a fuck about him.
It's not how things works, man.
Today's show, somebody bookmarked today's show because
Robin is just like not okay.
Robin's on one today.
I don't know.
I like the energy though, man. I like it.
I'm just
He
saying,
also makes good points.
they're over here trying to like pull and be like, you should be shamed. Did you hear him? He's going to go build somewhere else. Oh, aren't you? Like, get out of here. Get over yourself. Nobody gives a fuck about him. That's it.
You know, I guess the point I was going to make was a lot of people are upset about how they did it, right?
Go. Do it again.
They did. They did actually.
Do it a third time.
They did.
And if you keep buying it, you're stupid as
They
hell.
literally said they're going to keep doing it.
Good.
All right. Okay, so I'm doing a giveaway today. All right. It's very simple. All you got to do is give me like 11 minutes of your time. That's it. So I mentioned we posted a stake video today. I'm going to give $100 away to someone who watches the video. That's it. Watch the video.
And comment so we know you
Comment.
watched it.
Yeah. Comment. I don't know. What should they comment? Comment stake. STAKE. Comment stake. And then tomorrow, actually think about this. Tomorrow's Good Friday. Should we have a stream for Easter?
Yeah.
But it's Easter's.
Easter Sunday, man.
But it's Good Friday.
Shut up.
Shut up. Cool. Okay.
Okay. Let's go back to the giveaway.
Yeah. Get back to the giveaway. And so this video right here, you'll see that beautiful stake thumbnail. Go watch it, comment stake, and I will give $100 away to one person tomorrow. Announce it on the live show. And that's all you got to do. Nothing else. You want to sign up for an account? Cool. But that's not one of the stipulations. All you got to do is watch it.
Crypto 7 says, I can't last 11 minutes.
Fair enough. Anyways, not Sudhir, not right now, buddy. You got to go watch the actual stake video and then comment stake.
Not on this video.
Not on this video, on the stake video.
The other video.
This video. And so all we want you guys to do is just support. And so a big thank you to Stake for sponsoring today's show. And that'll do it, man. Also, a big shout out to my boy Sheldon, who's back there laughing. I don't know if he wants to be on camera though, Rocco. So maybe. But shout out to my boy Sheldon, my longest tenured friend. Love this man. Anyways, with that being said, Rocco. Wait, we didn't hear from Ashley today. Ashley, any names you had or? I was so. Obviously, you know why today was a little different. I mean,
You know what? It was
was-
Robin's show today. I think it should stick to be Robin's show today.
you feel left out?
No.
You had the chair that's empty had more to say than you actually.
I honestly agree.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Rocco. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. To my co-host today, who maybe has snuck a shot of bourbon and Bailey's into his coffee this morning. Thank you for the lively show. And to all of you watching, thank you as well. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same place, same time. Until then, peace.
Entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fractions. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control you.